Howdy glowworms, welcome back. I so I had I think I accidentally had dairy yesterday because I had like this cookie that was like a peanut butter chocolate cookie, but I think it might have, like, the peanut buttery stuff in it might have been made with dairy or something. I don't know. My stomach felt like a little wonky afterwards, and I was like, "Ooh, that might have been bad." I was like, "It'll be fine. It wasn't that much." No, today I think I'm pretty sure I have like two like small under the skin zits that cropped up. So I'm just like, good to know that dairy still makes me break out. Of course, like, I didn't like go crazy or anything with the milk. It was, just like a little ingredient in like one. I didn't even have an entire one of the cookies. I had like a third of a cookie. So yeah, I was thinking like, wow, I still, yeah, really should not be having dairy. Also because I was like, well, my stomach did feel like a little bit off afterwards, and I was like, yeah, if I had had any more of whatever like milk based ingredient that was, like, I probably, yeah, would not have made it to dinner with friends last night. I probably would have had to stay home. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I have been thinking lately about how people say that like dairy in Europe doesn't mess with them as much as it does in America, because, like, American food, like, there's something wrong with our food system or whatever. Like, who really knows? Not me. I'm not an expert on agriculture or anything like that, but I have heard that that like people who usually can't eat dairy in America are like fine when they go to Europe. So I'm thinking that now I'm just gonna have to, go to France or Italy or something sometime soon and see for myself, just like eat a bunch of, maybe I'll ease myself into it, but, start like eating dairy there and just like see if it affects me in the same way, see if I like break out or anything, or see if like I'm just fine. Yeah, and now I'm thinking like, if I do that and then talk about it on the podcast, can I write that off as a business expense? Can I write off a trip to Europe as a business expense? I don't know. Or maybe at least like any meals that I have, for, once again, research purposes, very serious, very official research purposes, to see, yeah, I mean, it's technically skincare related. It is related to me taking care of my skin. And if I were to buy, any like French skincare from like the pharmacies over there, would that count as a business expense? Definitely all business related. Something to think about. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Manifesting, just throwing it out to the universe. Just a thought. Anyways, I am back again with another sort of like brand highlight episode. I was thinking last week it was fun to look more into like Crave Beauty and reflect on my sort of experience with that brand and their products. And I was like, wow, next week I should talk about Glossier. And then I actually tried to record this episode earlier this week, as in like before, my usual Thursday sort of deadline thing, episode air date. And I absolutely did not like the recording. I got like halfway through it and I was like, never mind, just like turned off the recording and I was like, I'm just gonna revisit this in a few days. And it's been a few days, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take another week between episodes. This might just, now be an every other week kind of podcast, which is much more manageable. To literally no one's surprise, that is way more manageable than coming out with an episode every week. So that's just how it's gonna be for now, I mean, we chillin'. This is a super casual podcast anyways. So yeah, I was like, let me come back to this, and here I am. And I like did a little bit of sort of research on Glossier, because I was like, I don't really remember exactly how things went down, but the brand was started in 2014, and that's probably why I don't remember some of these things. Is it was 10 years ago when this brand launched, and I was kind of there when it had just begun. I have been into Glossier probably since, I think, like end of 2014, maybe beginning of 2015, because I was in college and I was very much into like the blog scene kind of back then. I was a big Man Repeller follower. I think I read a lot of things on like The Cut and The Skim. But another blog that was big at the time and still is big is Into the Gloss, which unclear, Emily Weiss's blog. And Emily Weiss then went on to start Glossier, which is a skincare and makeup brand. And back in the day, she, like so many, sort of not influencer, not celebrity really, but actually just like a small startup-y kind of skincare brand. She only launched a few products. She had like 4 to start, and it was like a soothing face mist. I'm trying to do this from memory because why would I have my notes in front of me? Why would I do that? She had like a soothing face mist. I believe the Milky Jelly Cleanser, the Boy Brow, and Balm.com, I think were like the 4 products that Glossier started with. And I ordered these using money from my like college student like campus job. So I like at this time I had like 0 money, but I somehow in college made just enough money through my campus job to like buy myself a little something every month, and then to like eat off campus a couple times a week. Like nothing fancy, but like that was great for me at that time. Don't even know how I budgeted that. Like that's definitely, inflation is real, because like there's no, like if I had to buy the things that I was buying back then on the like $7.75 an hour I was making, that's just saying $7.75 an hour is just so, I just can't, like how does anybody live off of that? I couldn't afford anything 10 years ago on that. I don't, like, it's laughable that anyone thinks you could live off of that in 2024. But yeah, I was using what little money I had to buy things like Glossier, and I bought a couple of things, loved it, became like slightly obsessed with the brand, and I went on to try a lot of the products that were released in like 2015, 16, and 17, because I was a lucky duck who won like a giveaway that they had on their Instagram for a $500 gift card to Glossier. And so basically every time they came out with new products, I would like repurchase my favorites and then also like add, the new stuff as well into my order. So like every few months somebody would be like, hey, like, you like Glossier, right? Have you tried this product? I'd be like, yeah, I tried it when it first came out. Like, here are my thoughts on it. Like, it'll work for you if, like, you want this. And they'd just be like, why? How do you have the money to be buying this much Glossier? Like, I had a sticker for every single season. Like, if you're, like, an OG Glossier fan, like, you'll know, I think it was originally basically every season, like, fall, spring, winter, summer, like, they would have a new sticker that came with like the little pink pouch and everything that they sent in every order. Now I think they might do it like only like it might just be like a biannual thing or an annual like sticker. But I had like every single sticker because I was buying stuff basically every like 2 to 3 months. And I still have just pink pouches everywhere. Like I just use them for everything. Like I have like all of my sewing supplies in one. I have like I use them for when I travel. That's like my skincare pouches. I have one that has like a bunch of like photos that I got developed from like a disposable camera. Like I like I have them everywhere. And I have like all the Glossier merch. So like yes, I am like kind of a Glossier fangirl, though, as I mentioned in my last episode, I don't like really actually fangirl over brands or celebrities or people, or, because in the end, it's like a company, it's a brand. Let's not like glorify anything like that because they're just there to make money. Like, it's not actually something that you should idolize. Anyways, all that being said, I've tried a lot of Glossier products. I've tried almost all of their skincare products, and in the end, is their skincare good? Yeah, it's solid. It is solid. It's not like my favorite ever. I think you can get similar and better, and like some similar and some better versions of their products just from if you just shop like K-beauty like I do, like Korean beauty brands. A lot of Asian beauty brands have similar products or better products for cheaper, and that's really what I stick to nowadays. But in terms of Glossier, it's at the point where really the only things that I get from them, or the only products that I consistently use are their skin tint, which if you've tried it, it has like zero coverage. So it's definitely not, if you are looking to do like a glam makeup look, that is not for you. And I use their stretch concealer. And I used to be a huge fan of their mascara, the Lash Slick, but since I had to like order it, I go through mascara like really fast because that's the only thing that I really wear every day. So since I had to like order it online, I was like, I'm not gonna keep buying this, but I still love it. Like, I would use it consistently. Probably if it was like, well, now I guess now that I live in LA again, they have a store here, so I could just go get it in person. And now it's in Sephora, whatever. Point is, I am down to really only using their skin tint, their concealer, and their Future Dew nowadays, and Bomb.com. So I've got like a sort of like core product thing going. Those were definitely some of their OGs. Those are some of the products that they do best. But their skincare, I don't use so much nowadays. And I think a big part of that is Glossier appeals to, they've always appealed to this sort of clean girl, model off-duty aesthetic and lifestyle. And that's great, but if I know from the get-go, like, people have been like, Glossier is not for the acne-prone girlies. It's not for like the full face of makeup glam girlies. And that is true. That is so true. Like, I'm not even gonna try to like pretend like, oh no, like if you just try like the Glossier solution, like their exfoliating toner, like, yeah, like acne girlies can like totally show, like, yeah, you could, but there's like plenty of other things on the market that are they're just, they just would work better for somebody who is trying to work with like maybe severe acne and stuff like that. So it's definitely always has been, and I think kind of always will be, more like clean girl aesthetic, more minimalist makeup and skincare needs. And that's fine. That's where they are in the market, and that definitely appeals to me. Skincare wise, like nowadays my skin is a little bit more like on the normal, maybe slightly oily, but for the most part normal, not super acne prone anymore, like range of things. So like their stuff like did work for me, when I did use it, and I think it still could. I do love, in terms of skincare, they have like serums. They have like their it's Super Pure, Super Glow, and Super Bounce, which respectively I think is like a niacinamide serum. The Glow is vitamin C, and their Bounce is like a hyaluronic acid, which is like a pretty standard set of serums, pretty standard like way to address different skin concerns, right? And those worked well when I tried them. Like they were fine, they were good. Are they my favorite formulations ever? Like, no, and I don't use them anymore, but like if you were shopping on Glossier and you wanted to add something like that to your cart, I wouldn't discourage it. Like, I'd say, like, yeah, like, try them out. They're fine. They also have a sunscreen. I tried it when it first came out, and I think I was, like, fine with it. Yeah, I think back in the day, they just had, like, a gel one that was more mattifying, which was, like, fine and good. But as everybody who has listened to this podcast, as everyone knows, like, I am not an American sunscreen girly. I, like, exclusively use Korean sunscreens on my face because they just have better filters and no white cast, and that is big for somebody whose skin is reactive and tan. So, like, things that I need out of sunscreen, just, like, very specific. But, like, if your skin is kind of fine with any sunscreen, Glossier sunscreen is solid. Like, it's there, it works. I think they have, like, a more moisturizing version nowadays as well. So it's like, if you don't need mattifying, if you want it to be more glowy, like, they have an option for you. Aside from those, what else do they have? I mentioned the Milky Jelly Cleanser. Solid if you are wearing, like, little to no makeup. Like, that's solid. Like, I think I used to try to use it basically as my double cleanse. Like, I would go in with it dry, and then emulsify that, rinse it off, and then go in again with the same cleanser wet, and, like, use as my, and, like, that kind of worked for me in that I wasn't wearing really any makeup in college, like, day to day. Like, I basically just wore mascara then, and maybe their boy brow, and, like, that would be it. But I wasn't really, and, like, maybe I would wear, like, a tinted, like, sunscreen moisturizer thing, maybe back in the day, like a BB cream kind of thing. Oh my god, that's, saying BB cream and, like, CC cream is, like, somehow, that's, like, triggering me. Anyways, just thinking about them, I'm just like, oh my god, what an era of, like, Americans discovering BB and CC creams, and, like, feeling like, oh my god, this is so crazy. And I feel like Asian beauty spaces were like, yeah, that's, like, pretty standard, like, duh. Anyways, I was wearing those back then. Those were, like, becoming popular here in the US, and so I didn't have, like, a ton of makeup to wash off. So double cleansing with, like, that Milky Jelly Cleanser from Glossier, it was fine. It worked well enough, because I think I also went in with, like, a toner pad probably, or, like, their exfoliating toner or something after, to, like, get any remnants of dirt off of my face. But nowadays I'm like, that would not be enough. Like, that is definitely, like, to me, a gentle morning cleanser kind of cleanser. That's like I hardly have any, I just have moisturizer on my face that I'm gonna wash off to just basically do a fresh face of skincare. But, like, that's not, like, nowadays I'm like, oh my god, no, that would not fully get all of the, like, dirt, debris, and makeup off of my face. There's no way that would be, like, my main cleanser. Like, that's crazy. So yeah, I definitely, my cleansing habits have changed, but, like, love that product. Otherwise, I'm trying to think of, like, the rest of they have, like, some, like, masks that I tried. I think they had, like, a mud mask that I used to like, or some kind of, like, yeah, it was something that was supposed to be, like, sort of like a pore clearing mask. And then, they have, like, a moisturizer that I remember it was, like, solid, like, their priming moisturizer. I think I used as a while as my daytime moisturizer. And there's, like, the regular one and the rich one. And I think for a while I also tried using the rich one at night. And it was just, like, good. It was solid. If you're young and you don't really have any, like, huge skincare concerns, and you just generally don't want your face to be dry, their moisturizers are a solid starter, basic moisturizer. It's not going to do anything crazy to your skin, probably, good or bad. It'll just moisturize it, and you'll be good. And, I mean, you could probably just, at that point, do CeraVe or Cetaphil, honestly. But, like, if you wanted to do the whole Glossier line, like, yeah, I can't knock those products. Like, I can't say those are bad. So, overall, yeah. Clearly I am a fan of that brand and their products, but I definitely feel like they were part of the like clean girl aesthetic wave that has happened over the past few years. Like, they were a big proponent of that. What I find interesting about them is it's they haven't, I can't exactly say they've fallen off, because like these days they're in Sephora, they're still very much popular. They had their little campaign with Olivia Rodrigo when she first blew up. Everybody was very into that. But there's this sense of like people moving away from the clean girl aesthetic once again. Like, there's a little bit of like with like this whole like, this is about to be the most internet brain rot thing I say on this podcast, but like with the entire like rat girl brat summer, bringing back like early 2000s sleaze / like recession pop music and Kesha. That was the amount of brain rot in that whole sentence. But bringing all of those things back, I feel like a lot more people are going back towards the like, I can't afford a house, so I'm gonna just buy myself a nice foundation and like an Urban Decay Naked palette and do a full face of makeup so I can at least feel good about that. And like, I feel like a little bit of that is coming back, whereas like Clean Girl was like leaning into more of, I think, when we had a little bit more hope for our futures. This sounds so chaotic and like negative, but hear me out. Clean Girl was much more that feeling of like, I can just like invest in my skincare and like do minimal makeup because I am serious about my career that's obviously going places, and like I have like that like sort of model off duty, new money, like very classy, quiet wealth aesthetic. And now people are just like, no, we're all broke. We're moving away from that. I personally really like how I look with just like a very like clean, minimal makeup. I like will occasionally spice it up by doing like maybe a shimmery eyelid, and that's why Glossier works well for me and like continues to work well for me. But yeah, I feel like the brand as a whole hasn't evolved a ton since they added more makeup options. Like, that was their last evolution, was like they went from just being like very clean girl minimalist into like having some more fun things. Like, now they have, of course, eyeshadow and eyeliner, and they added those a couple years ago. And they have like a foundation now that's like actually, you know, sort of, I think, medium to full coverage, which I've just like tried samples of, but I'm really not like a full coverage foundation girly. I just like don't like how it like looks and feels on my skin. I think I just have to like find the right one for me, and I haven't yet. Maybe someday I will. Maybe I'll just stick to using the Glossier skin tint and concealer as my complexion products forever. I don't know. But I'm like, what was my point in saying all of this? My point is they haven't really evolved again since then. I think their sort of last evolution was making it into Sephora and like being a little bit more accessible to everyone, because, you know, when you have they originally just had like almost all of their sales were online through their own website. So I was very much like, okay, well, if I want to buy from your website, either I'm gonna go on there and buy, you know, the one or two things I want and have to pay shipping, as I think a lot of us shop this way online, but it's kind of like, I'm trying to meet that free shipping minimum, because something about paying $30 plus like $5 shipping feels like less of a deal than just paying $50 and getting free shipping, even though like technically you're paying $15 more. It's like, okay, well, but I'm getting product for that $15 instead of, you know, like air. That doesn't make sense. That's fully a girl math thing, which is another internet brain rot term, but that is a girl math thing. Somehow paying $35 with shipping feels like more than paying $50 and having free shipping. Whatever. So being able to get things on Sephora now, where like, as like a Sephora insider, I just get free shipping on everything, or I can just walk to the store, drive to the store, whatever, and just like get the one product I want in person. That's so much more accessible because Glossier, like the only store they previously had was in New York, and then over time they added like a couple more. They do have a store here in Los Angeles. I've been there once and it was just to pick up an order. I went to like their New York store, like the OG one back in the day. Of course I did. Don't even be surprised. Like, of course I did. There was like a point where I was just passing. I think I was only in New York for a couple of days with family, and they were like, what do you want to do while we're there? And we were like, try this food place, try that food place. And I was like, go to the Glossier store. My mom was like, the what store? The who, where? And like, why does it just have like one store and it's in New York? And I was like, I'm not gonna explain Glossier lore to you, Mom. That's so like, oh my God, get with the times. Obviously I was in college at this time, and I thought it was so cool to go to the Glossier store and take a picture in the mirror that says, you look good. I did all the things. My mom actually ended up loving their stretch concealer, and she bought one, and I think I repurchased it for her like a couple years later. She was like, wow, this actually works really well. And I was like, I'm tucking my non-existent hair behind my ears right now as I say this, and I was like, yeah, Mom, I know, like, their products are so good, like, I put you onto this, haha. Oh my God. I really did fangirl for them like way too hard in college. It was a phase. I can't even really say that it was a phase because I still buy their hoodies because I really like their hoodies. I'm actually looking at my closet as I say this. I think I have 5 of their hoodies. I have 5 like hoodies / sweatshirts from them, maybe 6. And I also have the water bottle, and I have the duffel bag, the like neon yellow duffel bag. I've kind of, I'm trying to not completely buy every single Glossier merch product. I did try buying their cap at one point, but it's too big for my head because I don't have hair. So, so I gave it to my sister. But yeah, I do be fangirling a little bit, but like, I do respect the brand sort of overall. They've definitely had some controversies. There was a time where they like did not have nearly good enough of like a skin tone range in their like complexion products. Like it was literally like white, and then like sort of like tan, you know, like somebody around my skin tone could use it, and then like deep. And like that was it. And it was like, okay, so either you're like basically like a pretty average like deep skin tone, or you're tan, or you're white, like pale as the driven snow. Like there was like they had like nothing in between for you know anybody who was like in the like mid to deep range of skin tones, and it was laughable. There's one YouTuber who she was really big for a while as being like the like main like super deep skin tone influencer. Oh my God, what was her name? It was like Naya or something, or like it started with an N, but that sounds terrible. But but she like definitely swatched like their deepest skin tone products that they came out with at first, and they were like so light on her. It was a joke. She was like, y'all be so for real right now. Like there's no way that you think that you did a good job on this. And in the past couple of years they did come out with way more complexion products. Is the range perfect? No. It's like so it's I can't, I'm not gonna like stand up for like beauty companies and be like, oh, it's so hard to come out with a good range of complexion product, because like no, like figure it out. Like that's your job. Like is this not what, like, do black people not exist to you? But at the same time I'm like, okay, they did add something, and hopefully they add more in the future. It did get a lot better. But yeah, it's not a Fenty Beauty launch. I mean, Rihanna really did that and like made everyone else look so bad because she came out with such a good range when she came out with her first iteration of her foundation. But yeah, the Glossier complexion range has gotten better over the years, and like, you know, I'll take some amount of progress there. I would like more from them because it's like you as a brand and a company are huge now, and I know that you can do better and I need you to do better. But that's really my like main gripe with them as a company. Like, they've always been a little bit, you know, definitely marketed to and for people of like a lighter skin tone, and it definitely has always felt like those of us with anything, you know, darker than that have been a bit of an afterthought. But from a skincare perspective, it's, you know, they've been solid, they've been doing the thing. Definitely, yeah, has the vibe, has always had the like slight elitist vibes, but that's why you don't idolize a brand. That right there is why you should never worship, idolize, speak too highly of somebody who in the end is a business and there to make money and not necessarily there for your interest and for your good. But yeah, do I regret any of like my purchases? No. Will I continue wearing my Glossier merch? Yeah. Like, the sweatshirts are really comfy. But yeah, like, in the end, I don't love Glossier the same way that I do Crave Beauty. Like, Crave Beauty just like is in a different echelon of like self-awareness and like actually trying to create a product and a brand that says something very real and very honest about, you know, skincare and where they stand in the whole like skincare landscape. Because, you know, they're like actually like, hey, we know that like having new products and shipping things and packaging is all like very unsustainable, and we're going to try to do something about that. We're going to try to address that head on. And also, like, overconsumption is a huge issue for in like first world countries, where it's like so easy for us to be like, yeah, I'll just buy 20 products right now that I don't really need because I just want to try them. And then you end up with all of this extra waste, and Crave Beauty is really like addressing that head on, whereas Glossier is, you know, much more just like into innovation and everything, but innovating for the sake of innovating rather than taking their time and like slowing down and making, you know, super duper intentional products. I think their first few products were extremely intentional, and it's just like gotten less and less of that as time has gone on, unfortunately. But yeah, it's hard to hold yourself to the same standard as Crave Beauty, because like I said in my last episode, like, Leah Yu did not have to go that hard, but she did. Emily Weiss, great brand, great businesswoman, but yeah, didn't come at starting a brand from the same angle as Leah Yu did. But still, I mean, still impressive, of course, everything that she's done. I'm not going to pretend that it's not impressive, but I'm just trying to keep it real here. So yeah, they're my thoughts on Glossier as a brand and sort of their skincare and how they've grown, how they've changed. I think in the future they're gonna probably just keep getting more and more like corporate-y and just continue to, like, you know, grow that shareholder value. Especially because I think, I can't quite remember, but I think that Emily Weiss like no longer directly sort of is in charge of everything. I think either like she sold the company or she stepped down as from being CEO to just being, you know, like, you know, whatever founder role or something. And I think somebody else now is the head honcho there. And I still don't remember if I don't think that they're like a publicly traded company. I actually have no idea. I should look into if they're a publicly traded company or if they have been acquired or in talks of being acquired or anything. You'd think I would like know that from my research, and because like I used to be like a big like stock market girly. I don't know. I was very into like investing and stuff in high school and college. I mean, I still am. I just, whatever. Anyways, that's a thing to think about. I know Crave Beauty still hasn't like been acquired or anything. It's definitely not publicly traded. It's definitely like a private company. So they don't have to like answer to the shareholders like so many other skincare brands unfortunately do. Such as I'm pretty sure The Ordinary does nowadays, and The Ordinary is probably going to be the next brand that I'm going to talk about, because just wow, what an animal, what a different origin, and what a different way to approach a skincare company. But definitely like The Ordinary has definitely changed the skincare landscape, and changed the way that the lay person and young women, like mainly young women, of course also like men, but like really young women, we have like definitely changed our approach to skincare so much in the past 15 years. If you if you looked at somebody's skincare routine in 2009, oh my lord, I not even close to what like a teenager is doing in 2024. I mean, a teenager in 2024 would actually laugh in the face of a teenager in 2009. Because I mean, the things I was doing in 2009 as my skincare, I had no idea about like ingredients. I didn't know anything, and there just weren't resources, and there wasn't TikTok and stuff to teach me things easily like there are nowadays. And I very much was following like beauty chemists and things, and blogs like Into the Gloss to find out more about what would work for my skin, because your girl can't afford to go to the dermatologist like every couple of months to try different things and to figure out what combination of ingredients and lifestyle changes and everything are going to help her skin. And so it was rough for us 2000s and 2010s teens, but the 2024 teens are way more prepared and way more informed, and The Ordinary definitely has capitalized on that, and if not contributed to that. So definitely going to have to talk about them at some point, if not in my next episode, sometime soon. But as usual, if you have any ideas for episodes, any things that you want me to talk about, any topics you'd like me to cover, please go ahead and DM me on my Instagram at glowlandskin. Or if you just like want to send me cat memes in general, skincare memes, go ahead and DM me those too. Like that would be great. You don't have to send me anything from like Glossier, Into the Gloss, Dewy Dudes. I already follow them, so I've probably seen those. But anything else that you see that is skincare related, feel free to send to me. I love reading about definitely like new products, different ideas, different people's skincare routines. I'm always watching the like Vogue Get Ready With Me's and the Vogue Get Unready With Me's. Like I live for those videos. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Y'all are the best. I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye.